Hello, everyone. Welcome back to True Crime Stories. I am back with another true crime case. So, this is the case of Marryssa Middleton, and she murdered someone. She murdered someone along with her boyfriend. On, let me see. This happened on May 8th, 2017. A woman and a man who's Marryssa Middleton and her boyfriend Larry L. Anderson um, were arrested on Monday to 28 years in federal prison for taking part of the kidnapping and death of a Junction City woman. Just 28 years. Anyway, this case is crazy. It's sad, and 24-year-old Amanda Clemons was ended up dead because of them too. My personal opinion, 28 years is not a lot, and it's bullshit. So I wanted to bring up the case, show you all the case. 1 second. Let's see. Here's the case right here. Let's check it out.
From all appearances, she was doing well there. She was able to make ends meet by working.
Hold on. I got to start from the beginning.
And she would have done
for passing a bad check.
Getting arrested is certainly a wake-up call that one is headed down the wrong path.
After her arrest, she moves back to her parents' home and gets a job to support herself. But after 6 years of trying to live a straight and narrow life, the now 26-year-old decides she needs a change of scenery.
She left Colorado and moved to Manhattan, Kansas.
Marryssa could start all over. She could become a brand new person if she wanted to be.
Moving to a new town is certainly a way to start one's life over again. It adds a form of excitement in that it's different from the same old, same old. It's fresh, it's exciting, it's new.
She quickly falls in love with her new home and enjoys that there's always something to do. To spark up her social life in her new town, she gets a job as a bartender at a local strip club.
It's a college town, so it's got its fair amount of bars and whatnot.
From all appearances, she was doing well there. She was able to make ends meet by working at the strip club.
She was socializing with the patrons. She was making new friends. She was making a name for herself.
As her new circle grows, she is particularly drawn to one man who frequents the club, 28-year-old Larry Anderson.
They hung out a lot. She enjoyed spending time with him and thought he was a great guy.
Larry was handsome. He had a bright smile, slick talker. As time went on, they got to know each other. They talked more and more.
The couple date for a few weeks, going out to movies, dinners, and drinks, with Larry footing the bill at every outing.
Larry seemed like a modern-day Prince Charming. And Marryssa had never even asked him about, what he did for a living.
Marryssa had had a pretty hard life. And when she met this guy, Larry, who was willing to shower her with attention and spoil her, she was quickly head over heels.
But after dating for only a month, her Prince Charming's constant flow of cash sparks her curiosity.
She was wondering where his money was coming from.
She'd ask, but never got a direct answer from Larry.
Then one day, while hanging out around Manhattan, he reveals his secret. According to Maryssa's plea deal, he runs a small escort business in Manhattan and nearby Junction City.
A lot of people that live in Junction City either work or are soldiers on Fort Riley. So those Fort Riley soldiers made up a large portion of his clientele for his escort service.
Even though she acknowledges her new man's way to earn a living, it's still a tough pill to swallow. To set her mind more at ease, Larry loops her in to how his little empire operates.
And she was right there by his side, ride or die to the end. She made numerous trips from Manhattan to Junction City, and she was with him when he answered calls and supervised the girls.
What?
As time goes on, She has lingering questions in her mind about his relationship with some of the women he works with.
When Marryssa would travel to Junction City with Larry, she would notice that some of the girls got a little too close for comfort, and she did not like that.
At Vistaprint, we print everything to show off your brand. So you can print it like Simon's Restaurant and outfit your
She became bothered by the girls' familiarity with Larry. She became bothered by the fact that they would call him and talk to him, that they would dress scantily in front of him.
If you're insecure, you might second guess someone who has proven themselves to be really trustworthy and honest to you, but your own insecurity really makes you think twice as to what may be going on.
As Maryssa's anxieties grow, her relationship with Larry becomes strained, and the couple begins to argue.
Marryssa confronted Larry about what she suspected with the girls, and Larry just straight out denied it. He said there was no dealing other than business with the girls.
But no matter how bad their fights get, the two always manage to fall back in each other's arms. And with Larry's work keeping him 25 miles away in Junction City most of the time, she quits her job in Manhattan and moves in with Larry to keep her boy toy company. But oftentimes she finds herself alone while he's working.
She didn't have a lot to keep her busy. Fortunately, she met a couple also stationed at Fort Riley, Chantrell and Drexel Woody, and they became instant friends.
Larry came into the mix, and all four of them would spend time together.
With Larry's business keeping him busy at all hours, Marryssa shares her anxieties surrounding her man and his stable.
Chantrell and Drexel, they would reassure her and comfort her and just pretty much dismiss the claims and just tell her nothing's going on.
Sometimes people need to be reassured verbally in order to feel better about themselves and their own insecurities.
But Maryssa's jealousy continues to fester in her mind, and she uses social media to check up on her boyfriend. Her mind goes into overdrive when she sees a post from a local escort that insinuates that her suspicions may be spot on.
She found comments made by Amanda Clemons, and she said on social media that they had been sleeping together.
What Marryssa found on Amanda's page just crushed her view of the perfect world that she and Larry were to share.
With so much personal information that's on social media, it's really possible for someone to become a potential stalking victim and not even know about it.
Later that night, Marryssa confronts her boyfriend about Amanda's remarks, and he denies ever being intimate with her. But her anger is too far gone to be reeled in.
She wanted to be the only important woman in Larry's life.
When Marryssa Middleton suspects her boyfriend of 1 month, Larry Anderson, is sleeping with one of his employees, the woman in question, Amanda Clemons, doesn't hide the alleged liaison when she puts it out there for the world to see.
It was almost as though she were taunting Marryssa with her social media posts. Marryssa saw it and just couldn't handle it. She was beside herself.
She confronts her boyfriend, to which he denies ever hooking up with the lady of the night. Enraged, Marryssa decides to punish the woman spreading stories about her man.
She had in her head that Amanda, she needed to be taught a lesson, and she was going to teach that lesson.
Quite often when someone is in a relationship and they feel that that person is the one, they'll go to incredible lengths in order to keep that relationship.
Personally, I don't understand why people fight over another person. Why are you fighting a woman over your dude? Nobody should be fighting anybody over a significant other, ever. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Just leave. You've only been dating him for a month. Leave if you're that insecure.
And make sure no one else is getting involved in that relationship.
Full of rage, Marryssa vows revenge on Amanda for making up such lies. With Larry on board, the two head over to their friends Drexel and Chantrell Woody's home to enlist their help.
Because Drexel had never met Amanda and she didn't know who he was, the plan was for him to pretend to be a client, or at least get Amanda to invite him to a very specific location.
With a strategy in place, Drexel makes the call to Amanda, which she readily accepts. Excited by the promise of two women about to battle it out for him, Larry won't be left behind, and the three drive to the hotel while Chantrell stays at home. When they arrive, Drexel knocks on the hotel room door while Marissa and Larry stay out of sight.
Thank you, thank you.
Drexel interacted with Amanda for some time. They discussed various things that she would be willing to do for him, and then he told her he had to get money out of his car.
What's going on?
Before he could leave the room, Marissa and Larry walk in.
The second that Marissa saw Amanda in the room, she jumped on her. She started beating her, fighting, scratching, pulled her hair. She was full on attack mode.
Sometimes when a person is overcome with anger, instead of confronting the situation in a peaceful or constructive way, they just can't help themselves and respond in many ways through violence.
While the two women go at it, Larry stands off to the side with Drexel, watching his girlfriend's fury.
He didn't lay a hand to break them apart or to stop the violence.
I think Larry was a bit flattered by the attention. I think Larry liked the idea that these two women were fighting over him.
After watching the two fight for a few minutes, Larry finally pulls them apart and orders Amanda to hand over some money she shorted him.
Larry started claiming that Amanda owed him $300. She only had about $150.
Unable to produce the full amount owed, Larry drags Amanda to the car, and the group drives back to Drexel's house.
Amanda didn't know what was going to happen next. She was scared, and she knew she had no control and no say other than to go where they took her.
When they got back to the house on post, Chantrell was shocked to see Amanda with them. Amanda and Marissa engage in this back and forth about Larry and who had a relationship with him.
The two women battle it out, kicking and screaming at each other.
Marissa was physically attacking Amanda. At some point in that altercation, Marissa fell and hit her head.
She was still mad at Amanda. She's still on her case. And she even told her that she could work off her debt to Larry by getting another trick. Amanda was becoming more and more afraid and wondering when or if she was going to get out of there.
Amanda agrees to get another client to pay her debt, but begs Marissa to let her make a quick call to check on her son. The battled attacker reluctantly agrees, but keeps a watchful eye on her. The single mother makes the call, but instead of talking to her son, her mom picks up the phone.
Her mother could hear that she was crying and that she was upset.
Amanda becomes emotional hearing her mom's voice. She suspects that her daughter is in trouble and asks if she should call for help. Amanda replies with a yes and hangs up the phone.
Amanda's mom knew something was not right. Immediately, she contacted the police, and the police, not knowing where to find Amanda, called her cell phone.
The police called the phone number back to see if she was okay.
Marissa snatches the phone from Amanda before she can give the cops their whereabouts and disconnects the call. Aware that the police are now involved, the group scrambles to come up with a new plan.
I think their main focus was to hide. The police were looking for him.
But there's one
Wow,
person
Marissa
standing in
is
their
so
way.
insecure.
They knew
So
that
jealous.
if they let Amanda go, that she could
By the way,
identify
that's a
them,
picture of
that
her
she could
below.
tell them exactly who they were, and that she could tell the police exactly what had happened and how they had attacked her and assaulted her.
They knew what it would mean for him.
So let me just pause it in the middle. They was only sentenced to 28 years in prison, which I think is bullshit. I know I said that at the beginning, it's bullshit. I feel like if you murder someone for no reason, why would you murder someone for no reason? Like, there's no reason to murder someone unless they're trying to murder you. But you're just jealous of someone else and insecure of someone else. You should be mad at your boyfriend and you should be getting the fuck out of there. Plus, he's not even worth it. Nobody's worth it. But anyway, 28 years is bullshit. 28 years?
Amanda to get away. They had to realize they had gone too far, and now there was no turning back. Amanda had to be silenced permanently.
When people start to panic, bad decisions inevitably are made, and the situation just spirals out of control.
Larry, Marissa, and
So you're
Drexel
gonna kill her
force
because you're
Amanda in the
scared?
back of the car and drive to a remote bridge
That's
near Geary
bullshit.
County, 20 minutes away, while Chantrell once again remains at the house. According to Larry's plea deal, Marissa continued on her violent path.
Once they got to the bridge, Marissa immediately gets out of the car, drags Amanda out of the car, and starts beating her up again. They engage in a physical altercation where Amanda's fighting back and trying to get away.
Amanda is able to get out of Marissa's hold and runs. She comes up to the side of the bridge and looks down.
She was scared for her life. She knew that if she didn't get away, this was going to be the end.
And later, a teen mom looking to keep her family afloat takes things over the edge.
She was just in survival mode at this point.
Any threat?
On a bridge with nowhere to go, outside of Junction City, Kansas, after the call girl claims sexual relations with her boyfriend, Larry Anderson.
Amanda was scared. She knew she had only one way out, and that way was the bridge that she was on. And she jumped.
Consider this your sign to stock up on signage. Because right now at Vistaprint, all signs are 20% off.
When she jumped off the bridge, she fell 15 to 16 feet and landed on the embankment.
Amanda miraculously survives the fall and tries to get up. But this is where her luck runs out. According to Larry's plea deal, Marissa starts to violently attack Amanda yet again. Only this time, she has a weapon.
She thought she had a chance to get away. Then she realized her ankle was broken and she couldn't run. And before she knew it, Marissa was right there on top of her, just as angry, but this time with a knife.
With eyes full of rage, Marissa swings the knife at the injured woman.
She tried to slit her throat, but because of their size difference, she wasn't able to do that.
According to Larry's plea deal, he sees that his girlfriend is having a hard time fighting off Amanda. So he steps in. Larry, Marissa, and Drexel run down to stop Amanda, armed with a knife.
Larry approached, took the knife from Marissa, and he's the one that actually killed Amanda.
As Amanda's lifeless body lay on the ground, her three captors make no effort to cover their brutal crime.
They just walked away. They left her body on the embankment.
The trio head back to Drexel's house, where they attempt to get rid of anything that can track the murder back to them.
They did their best to clean up the evidence of what had happened. Chantrell and Marissa did their best to wash away evidence.
Larry and Drexel destroy Amanda's cell phone. They wanted no evidence that Amanda had been with them that day.
While the group is covering their tracks, police are already trying to solve the mystery of Amanda's disappearance. Their big break comes 2 days later, when they find Amanda's body under the bridge 6 miles outside of Junction City. Investigators search the area, but come up empty-handed. Next, they turn their attention to Amanda's friends to see if they have any idea who could have done this.
By talking to her associates, they managed to connect Amanda with Larry.
They tracked Larry down to his apartment where they found him with Marissa.
The couple is brought down to the station for questioning, where they both deny involvement in the murder. But police continue to pry, and eventually Marissa and Larry break down and confess. Although their loyalty to each other has seen its limits.
Larry told police that it was Marissa who inflicted the stab that killed Amanda. And Marissa told police that it was Larry who inflicted the fatal stab into Amanda. So their stories didn't add up at all.
When couples are under some sort of pressure, especially when we're talking law enforcement, sometimes they'll just turn on one another.
After several hours of questioning, Marissa finally comes clean.
Marissa told the police that she thought it was her job to teach Amanda a lesson for 2 reasons. 1, she owed Larry money, and 2, she was telling lies about her relationship with Larry.
She also admits to police that their friends, Chantrell and Drexel Woody, helped out with their plan. Police track the couple down and arrest them for kidnapping resulting in death. They each admit to their part and plead guilty to the charges against them. Drexel Woody is sentenced to 16 years in prison and 5 years of supervised release. Chantrell's sentence is still pending. Larry Anderson is charged with 1 count of kidnapping resulting in death. He pleads guilty and is sentenced to 28 years in prison. As for Marryssa Middleton, she pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit kidnapping resulting in death. She is sentenced to 28 years in prison. In the end,
Just 28
Marryssa let her
years.
jealousy and anger consume her thoughts that caused her ultimate downfall.
I think Marryssa felt like Amanda was a threat to this dream that she had of a life with Larry, and was determined to do whatever she needed to do to get her out of the way.
People who are amped up on their emotions tend to lose focus, tend to lose perspective, and end up hurting not just other people, but even themselves.
Marryssa lost everything. She lost hope for love, hope for a future. She lost her youth. She lost her freedom. She lost it all for a man.
Let's talk about how she helped murder someone. Like, let's talk about how she was jealous of Amanda and how Amanda Clemons lost her life. Okay, Amanda Clemons lost her life and was a mother and was a daughter. So, fuck whatever happened to Marryssa. She was an idiot.
Dark path that turned deadly. Next, over 1,200 miles away in Los
Anyway, all I want to say is I want to say a little prayer for Amanda Clemons. It's so sad what happened to her, and it's sad that her child doesn't have a mother anymore, and her mother doesn't have a daughter anymore. So it's sad. It's a really sad story, sad case, and yeah, they definitely deserve more than 28 years in prison, but it is what it is. Thank you for watching True Crime Stories, and see you next time for the next True Crime Story. Bye.